out that it's my computer sucking balls, which is good actually, because that means that on a normal machine, this runs just fine. And I realized this for, well, a number of different ways. Um, I was playing Binding of Isaac, and the game actually crashed, which is really impressive because I mean, it's not a big game at all. Um, and then it's also, well, there are a whole other things, but point being, this normally runs without the squiggly symbol thingy that your mouse becomes, the loading thingy. I'm getting very technical right now, as you can tell. Okay, so game is basically this. I'm going to put it into debug mode, so I have infinite number of moves. Actually, let me pause it first. Okay, so you have four players. Well, let's actually bring this back to the select screen, which will explain a lot more than me explaining a lot more. Okay, so these are your characters. Normally there's a nice little sprite in there, but like I said, I want to slow this down as much as possible so it can run efficiently. So as you can see, every character has their name and their stat. Um, so strength just means this will level up most. Physicality means these will equally level up. Power means magic levels up primarily. So every character levels up when they gain experience from doing moves and getting hit and things like that. Um, as you level up, certain stats gain a lot more stat boosts. Um, Power, Magicka is the stat. Tank is interesting because strength and grit don't quite level up at the same rate as somebody who has physicality, but you also have a huge boost in health. Actually, I think that's it, just health, which is really good, very useful, super useful. Let's see. Sorry, physicality, agility means speed and dexterity. Speed, how quickly you act, and if it's high enough, if it's higher than, well, I'll just give it away, 0.75, then there's a chance you'll act twice or multiple times. Like if your speed is 3.5, then you're going to act um, a lot of times, probably somewhere around 5 or 6 times. Dexterity is pretty obvious, how often you get hit and how well you can hit your target. Balanced, pretty much all of these except for teamwork and luck and movement and proration, which is combo decay, and I'll display that briefly. And there's also trait here. Trait is a special move that you can use um, as long as your cooldown is at 0. Um, Cooldown is increased by 1 for every burst move. You know what? I'm just going to show what it does. Um, okay, so there's Aism, Bism, Cism. If you haven't read the video game manual, Aism is basically you have everything right at the get-go. Bism, you can't use Vitality, which is like EX moves in a fighting game. Cism, you can't use bursts or Vitality moves until you reach critical health, and then you gain a limit break, which is like a one-time power boost or whatever have you. Some characters have counters that are limit breaks. Some characters have stat boosts. Some characters transform, etc. It depends on the character. I'm just going to go random. Same with player 2. Random, 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 random. And for a stage, let's go with a nice little city block. Be prepared to be bewildered by then. epic graphics or lack thereof. Okay, so this is the main screen. In the final version, it's going to zoom, like zoom when it becomes a character's turn. So like, let's wait for this. Let's wait for it to go. Okay, so don't even know how to scroll up on this thing. It will zoom in on this character. These will move to the side and will only reappear when you press tab, asking for information, basically. But I want to leave everything in for now. And also these look terrible, like awful. But, oh, whoops. Did my stream just stop? That was weird. Whatever. But anyways, these will look more like chalkboards, if that makes sense. Because I want everything to kind of have a like a hand-drawn kind of theme to them. I was going to go with composition paper for all of these, but it would look really stupid. And they'll also be enveloped by like a, I guess a chalkboard wooden frame. So it's not all going to be floaty like this. This displays the next character that's going to act, or the next character that's most likely to act. It won't always be the next character because there are things like speed and various other variables that come into play in between turns. And then this is the character after that to act. But for now, it's not even activated because I love my computer and it loves me. And this is basically like the closest unit to you. Right now it's acting as two things: the closest unit to you and the last unit that you targeted. Final version will have like a nice panel here which will show you which character you've targeted, because it's way easier to do that than to be like, wait, is this the closest character or is this the target? It's just confusing as hell. So my character has, I could tell from the blue arrows that he had 5 moves. I just moved forward 1. Now I have 4. Let me zoom this in so you can see a little bit better what's going on. And remove this because I don't need it right now. So you can see all of his stats here and all the items he's carrying on him. And you can see he has 13 of some card decks and 2 suite or suit, whatever, and 2 Joker cards. The way this character works is, well, he has a couple of ways of working. Let me just set it into debug mode so he has infinite movement and time. Normally this meter, which measures the amount of time you have to act in a turn, it will slowly decrease until it reaches the middle. And how do I put this? You also get a different meter when you use a move and you're within a combo. It's called finish time or a finish meter. And it depends entirely on the move's hit stun, which I'll get to that in a split second. So let me pull up his moves so you can see. So every character has normals, specials, jump moves. Well, actually, let me just demonstrate by doing a combo. And combos are kind of complicated in this game. So let me pick a better character to do combos with. Oh, darn. Yeah, poop. So the way Mia works is she has access to 4, well, within the story, they're called radiation stones. And they enable her to use different moves at different times, and that affects her combos as well. So, for example, let's see, let's bring her up to level 4. Yeah, let's get her level 4 there. God, look at how smoothly this is running. It's like if a potato had sex with a phone from the 90s, this is how most games would run. Alright, so let me start with a jump in. So if you've never played fighting games before, this follows that kind of idea where if you're going to do combos, you zoom back out. Actually, no, let me show. This displays the skills information, which you might not be able to understand. In fact, I'm probably going to get rid of a lot of this stuff because most of it's covered here. Most of the important stuff anyways. This shows the moves that link to it, or link from it. You can see Fireball, Fire Blast, Firefly, and these moves don't have this arrow next to them. That means they can't be accessed because she hasn't activated the stones that will allow her to use them. So let me quickly activate zoom back out. Activate fire. Well, there are 4 different styles that she can choose from. I think I'll choose. Let's go with Fire Gate. Oof, man. This thing is running, purring like a kitten. And to activate a move, you'll see right here, it shows the input that you need to enter it. Oh my goodness, this is running beautifully. Like a kitten. Like a kitten. Okay, so if you've never played fighting games before, inputs are just like A, B, C, D, or light punch, light kick, or in this case it's going to be heavy or left punch, left kick, right kick. Okay, so whoops, let me disconnect. There we go. I was still active on what's it called? Fightcade. Okay, so she's going to start with a jump in CD. Alright, let me pause this real quickly. And here you can see these are the follow-ups to that skill. Let's see, I can demonstrate this. So this is the timer that I was talking about, the finish timer that appears once you've started a combo. And this yellow light tells you that she can no longer act, so she's kind of stuck in a position where she has to either finish the combo or end her turn. So if you start a combo, you either have to finish it or lose the rest of your turn, which really sucks. Okay, so I did jump in, double punch, which did pretty good damage. Oof, look at that. Okay, and I'm going to follow up with forward C, which hits low, which is, oh shoot, I ran out of time. So if you don't act fast enough, just like in a real combo, in a fighting game, if you don't act fast enough, then you're not going to be able to finish the combo. Like if you have a move with a hit stun of like 3 seconds, and then you don't complete the input within like 3, then you're going to end your combo and not be able to do it. So if you're using moves that are lighter, like jab or crouching ankle kick or low kick or whatever, you'll have less time to react, less time to complete your combo. So keep that in mind when you're doing moves. Okay, let's see. And also, another cool thing about her stones is that when she activates them, they give her different stat traits. So, for example, I'm going to select the Earth Gate. And that gives her access to a pretty cool move that, if I could show you what it looks like, they would look a lot like the Kaiser Wave from King of Fighters. Okay, so, let's see, activate it. Down, down, A. So that sets her up in the charge motion, basically. And then you can keep charging once she has activated higher levels, which she hasn't yet, because she's still level 1. And, oh man. Okay, so she just fired off a bunch of, like, ground waves, basically. And, okay, now it's Aaron's turn, and I'll show off one of the cooler mechanics of the game. Man. Fuck that. Next time I'm running this on a workstation. There's no reason for me to let this run so slowly. My gosh. Okay, so I'm going to do a pretty cool combo on her. Oof. And wait for those to hit too. There we go. Oh, and notice it says Kirin learns Rock Charge. So Kirin is an interesting character in that she can learn pretty much every move that hits her. And even cooler is that she can work it into her combos too. So like, let's say she has her moves. Well, I'll demonstrate in a second. Getting ahead of myself. Just more than can be said for this computer. Okay, let me 5. So I'm going to use this Corkscrew Crusher, which is a special move. So it's quarter circle back forward plus punch, right punch. Okay, so I just punched her into the corner, and now I'm going to, whoops, not do what I planned on doing and instead throw a jab on empty air. Nice. But this gives me a chance to show you what I meant about Kirin. Okay, so see normals, left, right. So the rock move is a little bit too slow to combo into anything else. But I will just demonstrate it just because, you know, it's cool. It's pretty cool. So now she can use the rock charge. So if you're ever fighting against her, you have to be cognizant of the fact that she'll learn and be able to do better some moves that your character does on her. Okay, now we got Dahlia. She's pretty cool. Actually, let me turn up the volume on this. There we go. So all this is original music, of course. I refuse to, in the final product, I refuse to use anyone else's music but my own. So normally, she has 3 moves, so she would have been done right back here about, actually where was she? She was like 1, 2, 3. Yeah. But she has some pretty nifty qualities. Since she's an Aism, she can dash infinitely. Not infinitely, but she can dash a lot. Takes up 20 meter to do a dash. But she has another really cool way to get around the map. She has one move called Parting Glass, which basically dashes in a direction. Normally you have to finish that up with a combo, but I'm going to do what I call trait canceling. So I do the dash. Now I hit the button for her trait, which is a move every character has. Just going to pause it real quick. This is a move every character has and can activate as long as they don't have a cooldown. And you can activate it in pretty much any position except when you're using pace canceling, which cancels using meter, or when you're using group inventory. Or when you're using a grab, like a normal grab, basically. I'm going to quickly activate that, and then bam, she just moved 4 steps and activated, well, the move's called Blood Frenzy, which essentially allows her to, like, do any move that she wants to at the cost of health. So if she was, like, running low on rush meter and running low on gas, she could just activate Blood Frenzy. Everything will be taken out of her health, which sucks for its own reasons, but she's also able to gain most of that back. Let's get nice and close. Zoom over there.
Level up.
And I think I'm mostly going to... Oh, so the colors here demonstrate that she's in various states.
Fight.
The blue means she's in sadness state, which means she can't build meter. The red means that she's in blood price mode. And the pink means that she's fatigued slightly from using moves. And fatigue goes down 1 step at a time as you act, etc. Or as you don't act, rather, because acting increases stamina. And I'll just demonstrate one of hers. Oof.
Level up.
So she just did a pretty basic combo, a jump in with a left-right punch, following up with a right kick. What was I going to say about that? Oh yeah, you can only jump once per turn, or use jump moves once per turn. Otherwise, the only way you can reset it is if you use a pace cancel, the meter cancel that I was talking about before. Excuse me. Okay, so she's the healer character of the team, and she can do some pretty neat stuff. In general, you want to have her on your team. And she's best in Aism, in my opinion, because she has too many options, and she loses too many options in the other ones. Let me level her up so you can see one of the more interesting ones that she can do.
Level up. Level up.
Oops, and
Level
Mia
up.
just fell on the ground. Phew. Okay, let's do Stonewall Thrust. So normally this move just creates like a wall around her. Since she's higher level, it'll go even further than that though. She creates like a huge wall thing around her, basically. Now normally it would knock away opponents
Fight.
and then create a pillar right there, but since it missed, she could stay.
Level up. Level up. Level up. Fight.
Okay, let me use his, one of his vitality moves. So some characters are best with combos, other characters, oh hey look, it's running beautifully. Some characters run best with combos. Others are good for one-time moves. He's really good at one-time moves. So 52 pickup, he throws a card down and it creates a random effect once it explodes. And it's unblockable. Since it's club means stun damage, which means you take this, a lot of this. If this meter fills up all the way, you become dizzy. Let me just demonstrate on somebody. Oh, she got out of the way quick enough, so it's fine. Let's see. Let's get... Who's closer? Alright, so he's gonna get stunned probably pretty quickly soon. Let me do a combo that's impossible to do in normal play.
Level up. Fight.
This is what's really frustrating. You're missing like the coolest part about this, like that when you do a move, it shows the animation and it shows the character like getting hit or dodging or etc. I promise to display. Well, I guess I don't really have a choice. Once the final product is out, you'll get a chance to see what I'm talking about. Okay, let me do another double spin kick. Now, as you can see, she leveled up with the move. The more you use a move, the more your mastery improves of the move, which decreases the cost, increases damage, and other traits and stuff. Okay, so she just got him dizzy. And dizzy is a pretty nasty state to be in. I'll demonstrate why briefly.
Fight.
Let me also demonstrate a
Fight.
combo. Like a really, really good one. Hopefully if she hits. Alright, so we're going to start with a jump in overhead. And all jump in attacks like that hit overhead. So if you're crouching and blocking, you're going to get hit. So it's important to keep in mind which characters have overheads, which characters have good overheads, and which characters have bad ones, which characters have good lows that link into combos. So it's a lot like a fighting game where you have to know the matchups and the characters in particular to make it work. Because otherwise you'll be like, wait, but I blocked, why did that hit? Oh, that was a grab, how was I supposed to know that? Come on, man. Okay, so I'm going to do uppercut. Let's just do an elbow. And I'll level her up in the middle of this, because that, even though it's super cheap. And I'll use one of her bursts, which basically gives her infinite a lot of stuff. Actually, no, that's not anymore. I forgot I changed that. But this mode puts her in a special state where every attack she lands, she'll leech health from the opponent. And her moves don't cost anything anymore. So I'm going to continue my combo with a jump in punch. Follow up with an elbow. Use Rising Blood Mist, which is a Dragon Punch move. If you've played Guilty Gear and seen Slayer do his Stomp move, it's a lot like that, except it propels her into the air. So, boom.
Level up.
And I'll finish off. Oh, and she just learned how to use that move because I used it on her. But she also learned how to use it without costs, which is really, really cheap. So be careful. Whoa, I did a lot of damage there. Jeez. So she just did 3,439 damage. Most characters, in fact, all the characters have at least 3,000 health. Keep in mind that damage was interspersed between these two. But that's still pretty damn good damage. And she got 1,500 damage on him, 35 stun, and she heals 900 health. It's really nice.
Ready.
Okay, and let me just quickly demonstrate. She's in C'ism. I'd explain that there's a difference between Aism, B'ism, C'ism. Aism, you can use your vitality moves, which you access by pressing V or whatever button you map it to. Normals, N, jumps, J, specials, S, bursts, B. Specific items, I. Your trait, left shift, and then group inventory, delete. Let's see. But normally she can't access those when she's in C'ism. So I'm going to put her into let's see. Gonna put her into a hope this doesn't kill her.
Level up.
Oh, did quite the opposite.
Limit break.
Okay, so now she's in limit break mode, which means she can use her bursts, which costs 300 of this meter, which you build up by attacking, getting hit, etc. Let's just use it. Now, this is an area effect move, and it looks like I have just about everyone covered in this. So it's half circle back forward plus Y, which is extra punch.
Level up.
Okay, so that move did 2,000 damage overall. It's pretty good. Unfortunately, after using that move, it puts her in a state where she can't use attacks. So if she canceled out of this, and it's only for one turn, but it means that if she cancels out of this move, she can only use normals for the rest of the turn. But she's also in a grounded state, which makes her harder to hit because you can only hit with OTG attacks, etc. And this is the... Okay, well, here's the big feature of the game. Oh, hey, she's acting again. So as you can see, she can't really do anything. She did gain an action bonus from her speed being greater than... Well, her speed being 151 right now, jeez. Because of the... what's it called? Because of the limit break, her speed has been greatly increased. Not every character has it like that.
Fight.
But hers is like that, so it's pretty good. And you can't block when you're in Adel state. So all you can really do is either attack or run away and heal. Or rest or taunt, which... Oh, I can just do that. Okay, so taunting is pretty cool. You taunt, and if you get away with it, if you don't use attacks, or if you don't get attacked during your turn, the next time you act, you're going to gain a vitality boost, depending on how close an opponent is. So it's basically like, if you're ballsy enough to taunt your opponent and your opponent doesn't attack you, that gives you a confidence boost, right? I mean, within the context of a fighting game or any fighting situation, I think that makes a little bit of sense. You can also rest, which, if you're crouching, you gain more health from the rest. There we go. Let's just rest there. And so, as you can see, she's in a state of dizzy as well, or confused. When you're confused, you don't always go the direction that you want to go. Like, I'm only pressing up right now. Okay, let's go back down. Yeah, and see, she's just going to go in whatever direction she wants. And you can also, as you can see, you can't tell who is a teammate and who's an ally, so you'd better remember that from the beginning if your teammate gets dizzy. And you're automatically placed into a crouching state. Now, when you're crouching, you don't get hit by high attacks, like high as in like high above you, versus in some fighting game circles, high is called overhead and overhead is called high. In this case, I mean like high as in high attacks. Overheads will hit you if you're crouching. In fact, that's when they're best utilized. Um, so yeah, I think that explains everything. There's also the aspect of the game which I really, really wanted to put into the final product, but which I might need to put into the back burner for a while because it seems like, based on people's responses on how the game runs, um, it would be too much. It would be way too much for people to handle. Like it to learn how to play a strategy game with fighting game mechanics, and to learn how to play a fighting game would just be too much. So I understandably and respectfully have removed that aspect from the game just so that people can focus on learning how to play this in the context of a strategy slash fighting game. But that doesn't mean there's room for expansion in the future, which I promise there will be. And let me finish off with a combo. Okay, let's get someone into position. Let's make that happen. Okay, let's get that in position too. Actually, let me do a super move here, or burst. So normally, well, I guess not normally anymore, but what would be able to happen once you reach 300 meter is that you'd be able to engage an opponent in like the one-on-one, two-on-one, two-on-two fighting game stuff that I was talking about. But it's like I said, it's a lot for someone to learn who doesn't already know it. I'm a huge fan of both fields of those, of both strategy and fighting games. So it's a lot more natural to me, and like making a game like this made perfect sense um, with that in mind. But not everyone is like that, so have to bear in mind that if I'm trying to reach more people, the way to do that isn't to make the game harder or harder to learn. So that's it's disappointing. It's frustrating, definitely, but at the same time, I'm hoping that doing that will give people more access to it, and in the future, I can do something. Well, I plan to do something um, that includes both aspects. Maybe a standalone fighting game uh, for free. Obviously, I'm not one of those DLC scumbags. Um, okay, so this is his move. He throws a card at somebody. If it hits, he instantly cancels what he's doing, reappears behind that character, and inflicts a status element. Let's watch it action. If this thing ever... Oh, rip. Well, so much for that. Alright, let's see. Aaron has the most interesting combos, I think. I think he's an ASM right now, too, so let's give her full health. And I'll finish off with the neat combo that you can't really see what it looks like. Because, you know what? Let's just do this thing. Okay, so I'm going to start with Corkscrew Crusher. Since I have 0 cooldown right now, it means I can use my trait. And let's hope I connect. If not, I'm just going to go through a couple turns and get back there. Okay, have to go back forwards. Okay, so that move puts your opponent into a corner. As you can see, it starts a combo. Okay, so I'm going to follow up with body hook. Follow with rear uppercut. Now, instead of finishing off with a move, I'm going to trait cancel. And his trait is pretty good, might even be broken now that I think about it, because this is about to do some ridiculous levels of damage. But you're generally not going to end up with this kind of meter stats at level 5. You're probably going to be worn out, like low on rush, low on gas. Probably will still have a lot of vitality though. Okay, so I just trait canceled, and now his strength is plus 50, which is, oh boy, well, I think this might actually kill her. Hopefully not, because I want to demonstrate some of the cooler parts of it. Okay, so he just did that. Now I'm going to pace cancel, which is what I was talking about before. Okay, so I just did my pace cancel. Now I'm going to do a jump-in move. And remember, you can only do jump-ins once per turn unless you do a trait cancel. So what I could have done is do the corkscrew crusher into jump-in. Well, actually, no, I couldn't have done that. Whatever. So jump here, make swing punch, and then finish with circuit slam. And I built up just enough meter to cancel. It takes 200 to pace cancel, 300 to instant cancel, which gives you certain benefits. Let me just finish this match. Well, finish off Mia at least. Okay. Jump in, swing, bam. Okay, so here's how the combo, holy shit, that is incredibly broken. But like I said, it's not going to end up like that in a normal game. I did corkscrew crusher since she was already in the corner, body hook into rear uppercut, trait canceled into riot act. Riot act is his trait, which gives him a boost, a vitality boost, or not vitality, a rush boost at the cost of gas. And I followed up into his burst, which is thunderstruck. Cancel out of that, which is what the ... means. Use circuit breaker into circuit slam, which is a move where he jumps into the air, does the Dragon Ball Z double-handed swing thing into the ground, then punches the ground with electricity. I know it sounds really cool to hear me explain it. And then he canceled out of that into another one, but that already killed her. So yeah, that's the crux of Sketch Fighter. Hit me up with questions and not answers. Well, yeah, sure, answers. If you want to give me answers on stuff like, is this awesome? Then feel free. So yeah, thanks for your time and have a good evening, day, or whatever it is for you.